Hello, my name is Mildred Torres. I am the director of the Middlesex County Family Justice Center. This law video series project is co-sponsored by the New Jersey State Bar Foundation and made possible through funding from the IOTA Fund of the Bar of New Jersey.
And I'm Amy Travis. I'm a senior staff attorney at Central Jersey Legal Services. In this video, I'll be speaking to you about immigration. I hope you find it useful.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Mildred.
I'll start with my first question. Can you please provide a brief overview of relevant immigration laws such as Violence Against Women Act self-petition, U-Visa, T-Visa, and how they provide protection for survivors of domestic violence? And what are the most important eligibility and evidence requirements for each of the protections?
Sure. So the Violence Against Women Act self-petition, or VAWA self-petition process, exists for people that have a family member who is a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, and they may be eligible to be petitioned by that family member. But due to the domestic violence, it's not safe or possible to do that process. And so there exists this option of petitioning oneself, presenting your own case to immigration to do your own petition. So for example, if I wanted to file a petition because my United States citizen husband is abusing me, some of the evidence I would need to submit is proof of our marriage, proof of my husband's status as a U.S. citizen, proof of the domestic violence, some proof that we live together, and proof of my good moral character, meaning that I don't have any serious criminal history. If immigration approves my petition, my self-petition, I would get a work authorization, and many people would also be eligible for permanent residence. The U-Visa exists for people that are victims of certain crimes in the United States. And in order to be eligible, you'd have to show immigration that you're the victim of a qualifying crime, in this case, domestic violence. You'd also have to show that you are helping the authorities or you have helped the authorities in the investigation of the crime. And so one of the requirements is a certification signed by the authorities. That could be a judge, a prosecutor, the police, or somebody from Child Protective Services. And if immigration approves your U-Visa, you would have temporary 4-year status, and after 3 years with immigration U-Visa status, you would be eligible for your permanent residence. And finally, the T-Visa is very similar to the U-Visa, except it's specifically for survivors of human trafficking, specifically sex trafficking or labor trafficking. And it's the same process as the U-Visa. You would have 4 years of temporary status and then be eligible for permanent residence in 3 years.
Very good. Thank you. Will you please provide realistic expectations about the processing times for different types of immigration relief?
Sure. Unfortunately, all things immigration are very slow. So right now, VAWA self-petitions are taking about 3 years for a final decision. Some people may be eligible for work authorizations while the case is pending, but that's taking about 1 year to 1.5 years to get work authorizations. U-Visas are extremely slow, and right now immigration is taking about 7 to 8 years to make a final decision on a U-Visa case. They will give you a work authorization while your case is pending, but that is taking 5 years. And finally, the T-Visa right now is taking about 18 months to be processed. And keep in mind, these times can change. These are the times as they stand now, but it's important to keep in mind that in general, the relief is not fast.
Okay, thank you. On the next one, should I consult an attorney before taking any actions? Is a notario the same as an attorney?
That's a great question. If you are seeking legal advice about your immigration situation, you should only get advice from an experienced attorney, specifically an immigration attorney, or a BIA accredited representative. That is somebody who's not an attorney, but they have specialized training in immigration law, and the government has authorized them to provide legal services. Notaries or notarios in the United States have no legal training whatsoever, and they are not authorized to provide legal advice.
That's very good to know. Thank you. Are rights and protection the same for all survivors, regardless of their immigration status?
Yes, I often hear survivors of domestic violence tell me that their abuser has said, oh, if you call the police, they're not going to listen to you because you're undocumented, or even worse, that you're going to be deported or they're going to take your children away. This is absolutely not true. Everybody has the right to seek protection from the police and seek protection from the courts. The systems are not always perfect, but there are agencies that can help you advocate for yourself and point you in the right direction. But you are 100% protected as anybody else, regardless of your status.
That's very important to know for the public to know. Thank you. My last question, and one that is asked often, I'll phrase it, I'll state it the way it's usually stated to me by victims and survivors. My abusive spouse petitioned me, and now he says he is going to file for divorce. Am I automatically going to lose my status?
That's a great question. It depends on the specifics of the case, but for the vast majority of people, no. Getting divorced, even if you're in the middle of the petition process with your spouse, or if you were previously petitioned by your spouse, doesn't mean you're automatically going to lose your status. So if you're in a situation where your partner is using your status and or his or her status to maintain control in the relationship, you should consult with an immigration attorney immediately, because it's very possible that there's a way for you to leave the relationship without losing your status in the country.
Amy, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing this very important information. And thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, Mildred.